at 6 p.m. The Board of Education makes available at least one current copy of the Open Meetings Act, which is posted on the west wall of the meeting room and accessible to members of the public. Will you please stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Next up is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the consent agenda as presented, including approval of minutes of the regular Board of Education meeting on July 13th, 2026, rescind action item 7.4 from the July 13th, 2026 meeting, and rescind policy 4165 release of contract, approval of the proposed accounts for payment, approval of budgetary receipts and expenditures for July 2026, approval of option students, approval of third reading of policy 1110 bulletin boards, third reading of policy 3130 purchasing policies, third reading of policy 3131 procurement plan, third reading of policy 3132 internal controls, third reading of policy 3560 records management and disposition, third reading of policy 5004 full-time and part-time enrollment, third reading of policy 5005 student residence admission and contracting for educational services, third reading of policy 5008 attendance, third reading of policy 5101 student discipline, third reading of policy 5205 graduation, third reading of policy 5209 school library materials and parent access, third reading of policy 8130 annual organizational meeting, third reading of policy 8342 designated method of giving notice of meetings, and excuse the absence of Brandon Petrowski and Aaron Hamilton.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Jason, do you have a treasury report?
We do. So, treasury report for the month of July, general fund expenses payroll was $1,695,165.38, which is down a little bit. Bills were $757,533 and change, bringing total expenses for the month to $2,452,698.96. General fund revenue was lean as expected, $351,829.43. Currently, our budget is underspent 5.94% with the month of August left, and we still have a lot of those invoices yet to come, so we're trying to get as many of those in on this budget cycle as we possibly can.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Are there any items that the board would like to pull off the consent agenda for further discussion? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? And motion passes. All right, next up is the opportunity for public forum comments. I did not receive any requests to speak tonight, so we will move on to the discussion portion. We will start with 5.1, second reading of policy 4171, resignation of certificated employees. Jason.
So basically, this is the policy that we've been working with our attorney that talks about the statute and being April 15th. March 15th is the floor, as we've talked about, where we can send out letters of intent. You can't ask an employee to sign anything before then. You can send out letters of intent asking them to return by March 15th. April 15th is kind of the ceiling where, and we, by state statute, if an employee hasn't asked to be released or we're not in the process of working with them, their contract is automatically renewed, or if we're not terminating their contract. So essentially, policy 4165 that we rescinded and policy 4171 were creating a little bit of confusion because of the language within them. So as you recall, we rescinded policy 4165. Policy 4175 just clarifies all that language up, and hopefully will be a cleaner policy for everyone understanding moving forward.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, next up, 5.2 BPS goals and theme for 2026-27 school year. Dr. Nielsen, Mr. Alexander.
Okay, if I stand here.
Yeah, that is perfectly fine. Okay, so we are excited to kick off at the beginning of the school year with all staff. We've had them back, but tomorrow is actually our speaker that's coming. It's our service awards recognition. We will kick off the year formally with all staff, and then we will also feed them lunch. So we are excited for tomorrow because it's our time to give our message. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go through the message just so that the board understands what our goals are, the theme for this year, and how we are setting 26-27 up to be an amazing year.
Okay, so we'll have a general welcome, which is the welcome slide. I'm not going to go through what I have planned to say tonight because I do want it to kind of be fresh for in the morning. So this is the welcome slide, and we'll welcome everyone back. After that, we'll talk about our goals for the year, or our 3 key initiatives for 26-27. The first one is literacy. This is our why, and we're going to talk about, this is our commitment that every PK-12 student will have access to high-quality Tier 1 instruction because they can read, comprehend, and engage with grade-level content. Literacy is the foundation for success in every classroom and every subject. When students can read with confidence and understanding, they are empowered to learn, grow, and achieve. Second, how do we do that? So how we know our why. Literacy is important. It's a state-level goal. It's got to be our goal. Well, how do we get there? And that's through MTSS. MTSS is the system that will help us identify students' needs early, provide timely interventions, and use data to guide our decisions and ensure every student receives the support they need to succeed. So we know our why, we know our how, and then finally, we know our who, and that is the power of us. This is not just our theme for the year, it's how we accomplish our goals. Literacy and MTSS are not the responsibility of one teacher, one building, or one department. They are the responsibility of all of us. So the power of us is important this year.
So as we move through that, we now dig deeper into literacy. Literacy, we know, is our goal. We are directly aligned with the state of Nebraska to help our students excel in literacy. As you know, the goals address the need to ensure strong literacy practices occur PK through 12 in every classroom. This is a goal that all staff will be working to accomplish. We have made many great strides over the past 2 years and will continue to ensure staff are trained and students have access to strong Tier 1 materials so that they can be successful. The next focuses on aligning our systems so that we can provide strong Tier 1 instruction and resources while also providing supports for students who need that Tier 2 and that Tier 3 interventions in both academics and behavior. So our MTSS teams are developing structures to ensure a shared responsibility and collective problem solving. As we've looked at our MTSS teams, they have done a large amount of work over the last couple of years. It will be great that we can really start monitoring it for fidelity. Is it working? Are the structures we have in place, are we helping to see our students excel, or do we need to revisit and tweak and adjust and move forward? So as we move through, our next piece is looking at some of the evidence. So this is not something that we are just starting on new this year. We have been working on this for the last couple of years, and we have made great strides by implementing strong Tier 1 curricular resources and providing professional learning and coaching supports to our staff throughout the year. Our kindergarten and first grade DIBELS early literacy screener data has shown that we have more students at or above grade level and on track to be successful with reading. Our 8th grade ELA NSCAS data continues to showcase the improvements we make with our middle school students. And the graduation rate, this is projected, so it is not official at this point in time, is slated to be above 90%. We have not seen an above graduation rate at 90% or above for years. So it's very exciting with the efforts that they've put in.
Our teams have made great progress and we are excited to continue to see growth this year.
So, through the power of us, Helen Keller once said, "Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much." Literacy is our purpose, MTSS is our process, the power of us is how we make it happen. Achievement can happen, and we need to know our why. Every morning, and I've said this for years, there are more than 2,000 reasons that walk through our doors that are our why. Each one arrives with different strengths, different challenges, different dreams, different stories. Some come excited to learn, some come carrying burdens we may never see. Some simply need one single caring adult to believe in them. Yet every single one of them shares one thing in common. They deserve our very best. They are the reason we prepare, they're the reason we collaborate, the reason we continue to learn and grow. They are the reason we do this work. And when every adult in every building works together to help every student succeed, that is the power of us. So, welcome. This year we will strengthen literacy. We will build systems that ensure every student succeeds. We will support one another. We will celebrate every milestone. And through it all, we will demonstrate the power of us in everything we do. Let's go change lives.
So we do have to thank the foundation. The foundation is another key piece to this. They are the ones that help design and then help make sure that all staff members have a constant reminder of what our theme is for the year. And so we are excited about that piece. And after we get everyone, after we go through the presentation or before we go through the presentation, we will do a picture with all staff with their shirts on tomorrow. So it will be a great morning. And if you can come out and join us, we'd love to have you there. We will be at the Hevelone and we will start at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yes, perfect. Any questions? Hey, thank you.
We promise to be much more motivational in the morning.
Yes, we do.
Very good. After I'm making coffee and ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you. Next up is the action portion. We will start with approval of policy 1121, open night, third reading. Mr. Alexander.
So this is the final reading of this policy. We'll have discussion on it and then a vote. This is not part of the annual updates. This is a policy that's been generated over the course of time through discussion of different things that have happened, and it's my understanding that it's been an unwritten policy Wednesday nights from the beginning of religious education courses, usually in September, through the school year, would be free from school-sponsored activities after 6:30 p.m. Limited exceptions have existed due to NSAA-sponsored activities or cancellations requiring rescheduling due to weather. I know at times this has been at question as to why certain things are being allowed to be scheduled, and I guess it's time that we establish either a policy that says this is what we're doing or not. But I think establishing a policy gives clear direction to what the board's expectation should be for Wednesday and Sundays. For purposes of the conversation, again, I will point out that I polled ESU 5, Stance, and Trailblazer Conference schools, and the results I got were 12 of them had similar policies, 5 had no policies, and 1 school had a statement of rank. So that's the information. You've heard it now multiple times. We're open for discussion, and then need to vote so we know what direction you want us to go this year.
I think typically we probably need a motion.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah, we need a
Okay.
motion. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve policy 1121.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Eric. Now, do we have any discussion?
Sorry,
No, you're
you're
fine.
ready there.
I'd just like to point out, Doris handed out a handout with a lot of spot-on information about this policy. I 100% agree with that handout that Doris talked about those points.
Thank you.
And I think the one thing in the policy, it still does give some discretion to activities director and superintendent, correct?
Correct, yes.
And so I think with that, which again, what we saw last meeting, there was very few issues that, yeah, this, it didn't come up very often. So I have no issues with that. As long as there's still discretion by superintendent and activities director, that doesn't necessarily need board approval, then I have no problems with it. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. All right. Next up, approval of JCI service agreement. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the Prairie Mechanical Preventative Maintenance Agreement.
No, JCI.
Oh, never mind. Sorry. I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the JCI service agreement first.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second? Second. Second by Eric. Any discussion on this?
So, again, trying to make sense of all this, when we talk about our HVAC systems, we have really two separate pieces, although they all function together. You have the control system, which we refer to as the medicine system, that controls all the buildings, and that is a Johnson Controls Incorporated proprietary controlled system, so it kind of operates on its own. Then we have all the different types of heating and cooling units that could be all different types, depending on if they're brand new or if they've been replaced over the years or whatever the case may be. But they're all controlled by that single unit. This particular agenda item, we do need at times Johnson Controls help. So we contract with them. They come out and help us. We do a preventative maintenance contract with them for a certain amount of times a year. They come out and make sure that we have the software updated. They help train our staff. They work with us and make sure that we have everything we need to do. And if we have any issues, then they come down and we can call them and they'll come down and help us and put that on that preventative maintenance time as well. So it's a $426 increase over last year, which is pretty reasonable.
Okay, any other questions on that? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. All right, next up, approval of Prairie Mechanical Preventative Maintenance Agreement. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the Prairie Mechanical Preventative Maintenance Agreement.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Second by Eric.
So this is the third year of Prairie Mechanical providing preventative maintenance. Now we're talking about all the heat pumps, all the air conditioning units, everything in the district that has a filter, a belt, a pulley, different mechanical equipment inside of it that at any given time could need attention and mechanical help. And there's a lot of preventative maintenance that goes into making sure those things don't ever get to that point, but sometimes they do. So Prairie Mechanical does that for us. They come down and run those checks basically almost monthly with us, and we have two different sets. We have one preventative maintenance contract at the elementary school that runs $16,708, and then we have the high school, middle school, which is where a lot of the older equipment is, and also some of the bigger equipment as well. And that one is $91,810, which brings the total cost to the district $108,518 for the coming year. With the addition of the middle school heat, cooling units, that did increase a little bit, add a little extra cost to the service unit just in case there's some things that need to be done there. And we also found 2 units that they didn't charge us for last year that are added on to that this year. So.
Will the new middle school units be under warranty though?
They are under warranty, so we're not technically, it's the gas lines to them that we're more worried about than anything.
Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. All right, next up, approval of bus purchase. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the purchase of a bus up to $225,000.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric.
Okay, so as you know, we've talked about this multiple times. We've been working with different bus companies trying to narrow it down to what makes the most sense. It really comes down to two different types of buses, the Bluebird and the Thomas bus. This bus would replace our bus number 3, which is a 2013 Bluebird stub nose pusher is what it's called. It's a 72 capacity passenger bus. It has 3 storage compartments on both sides. The bus we're replacing has 122,642 miles, and we've had issues with the electrical, the gauges, the dashboard, and the DEF dispenser. I am not really sure what a DEF dispenser is. I will just be honest, I didn't ask, but we've had some issues with it. Point being, the age and the mileage is getting up there on the bus, and especially when we're thinking about belts and hoses and everything being 12 years old. And it still does have some decent trade-in value, so we would be trading that in. I just can't tell you what the amount would be that we'd be getting for it at this time. The total cost for the Bluebird, including air conditioning and the BPS logo on the side, both sides of it, would be about $218,118. From order to delivery, the Bluebird is about 6 months out. The total cost for the Thomas is $218,350, so you can see they're very close in cost. The graphics and the mascot and lettering, but it's a year out from delivery. So it's going to be a full year before we can see it. The Thomas bus takes a little longer, and they're a little further behind in their production line. In just talking with the drivers, they prefer the Bluebird bus for a few different reasons that do make sense. And I did meet with Scott and Kenny and Rhonda on this, and they prefer the Bluebird because spare parts are easier to get, and there's closer mechanical availability in town or closer to it for the Bluebird than the Thomas bus as well. So those are just a couple of the reasons. I'm asking you to approve up to $225,000 just for any changes or additions that we may make at as we're making the final decisions toward the end of this. But the prices are there. If we don't spend the $225,000, we won't. But now, the question is paying for it, right? How are we going to do this, Mr. Alexander? Well, my thought is that we put a sizable amount down now this year. So put $100,000 down and then finance the remainder of it just like you would a regular car. And speaking with Pinnacle Bank, they're willing to help us do that at a 5.35% interest rate. We can finance it for up to 5 years, make payments on it as need. If we pay it off early, that's good as well. And I think, looking, nobody's crystal ball is really clear, but looking into next year, there's a good chance we may be able to pay off a good portion of it next year and have it paid for. But at any reason, I think it probably makes sense to start the process of getting this bus ordered and getting it on the production line and getting it here. It's going to take 6 months, and so we've got the funds to do it, and it makes sense to do it at this time.
And obviously that $225,000 would be the max price, because then potentially a trade-in value would decrease that amount. And
Yeah.
what are the potential trade-in? 10, 20? I have no idea. What's the bus?
I really don't either. I think
5?
when I talked to the company rep, he said if it's in really good shape, it could be about $5,000. So, but he said buses don't hold a lot of trade-in value. We might have better luck selling it on Facebook. I don't know.
Somebody might buy it for All right. Any questions, discussion on that? I do like the financing option, paying some down and then financing. All right, seeing none, can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. All right, next up, approval of a van purchase. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 approve the purchase of a van up to $75,000.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric.
Okay, so if you remember back in, I think it was June, we received word that the laws had changed again and we could go back to the 9-passenger plus driver van, transit van, as long as all the adaptions had been made by a certified mechanic, and we have all that available. At that time, we did get a van. Now we are able to work through our local Ford dealership to get another one, 9-passenger plus driver transit van. It's a Transit 350 low roof, all-wheel drive. It's gonna cost us about $71,000 to get it all done, and there's some transfer costs getting it here, so it's a little more expensive than when we bought the other one for, but it's local, and I think that's important to do. So, again, asking you to approve up to $75,000, just so we make sure we have it covered. And I think this is a great thing. We have now we'll be updating a bus, 2 vans for the year. We've updated several vehicles in the course of the last 2 to 3 years, so I think it's
How many more vans will we need to update over the years?
I would say probably
3 more?
3 to 5 for sure.
All right, any questions for Jason on this discussion?
No mention of financing for it.
I'm glad you said that. I was just going to say, also part of the reason why I think the bus finance option is a good one is because it allows us then to do this one and pay for it all and be done with it. Yep. Great question.
Okay. See none, can I have your votes, please? Motion passes. All right, last item. Discuss, consider, and take all necessary action to accept or reject the proposed resignation of Cassie Eichhoff, high school English teacher. Do I have a motion, please?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 does not approve the resignation of Mrs. Cassie Eichhoff.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Jason, anything to add to this?
Just I think there's a few things that I think are very important in this. One is policy. Policy, we specifically have a policy that states once April 15th passes, in very limited situations we will work with people, but never when it's 7 days before school. So that would not be something we would be in favor of. The other thing I think is just the fact that state statute is clear about after April 15th, unless a teacher has been notified that they're not going to be asked to return, then they are automatically returned. So all that has taken place, and when we're 7 days away from the start of school, I think we can't accept this resignation at this time, or we leave 160 kids without an English teacher, and that's pretty tough, or a suitable replacement. So the resignation comes at a very difficult time for us to be able to find a suitable replacement, and I don't think it's probably good for us to accept that at this time.
Okay. Thank you. I will say if there's any discussion specifically related to Ms. Eichhoff, we will need to go in executive session just to protect her. So if anybody has anything specific about that, please let me know. Otherwise, I believe Doris has something, but it's not specific to Cassie. Okay.
I want to address the resignation before us tonight, and specifically my concern about the conduct of the Nebraska State Education Association in this situation. I want to make clear that my concern does not come from opposition to NSEA. I spent 35 years as a high school journalism teacher and was a member of NSEA throughout those years. I valued the association's role in advocating for teachers and promoting their professional treatment of educators. Perhaps that is why I find NSEA's actions in this situation particularly disappointing. Beatrice Public Schools received this employee's resignation late in the afternoon of August 5th, just days before the beginning of a new school year. The employee has accepted a position with the Nebraska State Education Association. I recognize that employees have opportunities to advance professionally and make decisions they believe are best for themselves and their families. I do not believe this board should unnecessarily stand in the way of those opportunities. My concern is with the organization doing the hiring. NSEA advocates for Nebraska educators. It asks school districts to treat teachers professionally, to respect contracts and negotiated agreements, and to provide working conditions that allow educators to serve their students well. I believe NSEA should hold itself to those same standards. Our administration, as I said earlier, received this resignation on August 5th. Our superintendent has attempted to communicate directly with NSEA regarding a transition. We have been told that the NSEA board has made it clear that this position needs to be filled by September 1. What concerns me is that there appears to have been no meaningful effort by NSEA to recognize the contractual obligation this employee already has to Beatrice Public Schools, or the difficult position such a late registration creates for our district, our staff, and most importantly, our students. I am not suggesting that NSEA withdraw its offer of employment, nor am I suggesting that this employee should be denied a professional opportunity. I am saying that an organization devoted to advocating for the professional treatment of teachers should itself act professionally when hiring a teacher who is already under contract with the Nebraska Public School District. There should have been a conversation about transition. There should be consideration of the employee's existing contractual commitment, and there should be an effort to give Beatrice Public Schools a reasonable opportunity to secure a suitable replacement. I would expect that from any responsible employer. I especially expect it from the Nebraska State Education Association. For 35 years as a teacher and NSEA member, I understood NSEA to stand for the principle that educators should be treated as professionals and that contractual commitments matter. I continue to believe in those principles, but those principles cannot apply only when NSEA is representing the employee. They must also matter when NSEA becomes the employer. That standard has to work both ways. Our goal should not to be to prevent an employee from pursuing another opportunity. It should be to ensure that a professional transition is handled professionally with respect for the employee, respect for Beatrice Public Schools, and above all, respect for the students whose education is affected by these decisions.
Thank you, Doris.
I will add, I totally concur with what you're saying. I am deeply concerned about the NSEA doing that, and more so that part of the job of the NSEA is to provide advice, help to our employees, and my impression is they did not give appropriate advice in this case to the employee who we're losing. It's just, I just have a lot of questions, a lot of concern.
Okay, any other further comments around this? All right, can I have your votes, please? And
wait.
motion passes. 5-0. All right, that ends the action portion. Next up, Administrator's Report. Superintendent's Report, and then Budget Update.
Okay, so in terms of the budget update, it's kind of all together. Official valuation numbers will be dispersed next week, and those numbers will determine a lot for the district. The budget is developed on estimated valuation numbers. Can't really finalize anything until I have those numbers. Just a few basic statistical bits of information for you. Our budget authority was increased 3.52% by the state, so it's at 36 million, up from 34.7 million last year. So that that's just a little bit of information for you. I cannot tell you levies, I cannot tell you anything because I don't have the rest of that information. So we are very close to official certification, and I just think it makes the most sense that we wait for any formal presentation or announcements until we have those numbers before we determine the next steps. So I'll be in communication with you as soon as we do get valuation numbers, or I have an idea, and let you know what it looks like moving forward. I also know that at this time there were over 800 protests to valuations at the courthouse. Many of those were adjusted, so that's why I think it's a little bit more difficult for them this year. Also, they're trying to get all those protests factored in and get final numbers put in before it's done. So we should know shortly, but we'll keep you updated. Next thing up is just projects update. The middle school gym is now a nice, cool 70 degrees over there today. So it's a great environment to start the school year out. They'll get to have all those kids in the gym on Thursday, and they won't swelter in the heat. So we're very appreciative. We were over there today doing a punch list, and it looks like things are gonna work out great. So
all of the sixth graders on last Thursday night. Gym was full, and staff working, and the parents and everybody applauded the nice, cool gym the other night.
I would like to add that upon my arrival at Beatrice High School, now known as Beatrice Middle School, I was told repeatedly, this building cannot be air conditioned.
the wonders of modern technology.
So all things are possible.
The high school, if you haven't been out to the high school to see the impact of the painting of the walls, the touch up with white and then the accents with the orange and the black on the stair rails and the classroom doors, it's really neat, and the stair casings that have been done just make that building come alive again, and it's just neat to see. So that's all done and in place. Should be a nice environment for our kids coming back. The upstairs Hevelone carpet has been replaced. That's all done. We did the bottom level last year. This year we did the top level. The big thing right now is the gym floor resurfacing. I think it's pretty much got its second coat on and just drying. That is going to look really, really good when it's all done. So we're working on finalizing just a few projects, and we'll be ready to go. So next on the, go ahead.
Can we get in there tomorrow?
To the gym.
Orange Boulevard.
Orange
Oh.
Boulevard?
Orange Boulevard we just saw tonight that it's still closed. So, yep. So it's entry through the, have to use Scott Street to get in. Just a quick update, and I will send this information to you because there's 2 pages worth. I'm not going to read it all to you, but you've all heard that there were some federal changes to Head Start last week on August 6th. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services released a proposed rule that would dramatically reduce federal Head Start regulations. So it's not final yet. There's a 60-day public comment period that has to happen before anything is final. But basically what it does is it reduces a lot of the federal requirements of the Head Start program, and shouldn't have a huge effect on us, especially for this year. But I will send this information to you that I have, so you can all have it. It is good information. Some things that could change would be staff to child ratio requirements, maximum class size requirements, health and developmental screening requirements, which we saw change today with the signing of an executive order, family partnership and parental goal setting requirements, nutrition, dental, and environmental health requirements, and then some curricular and program operation requirements. So it sounds like at this point, financially, not a whole lot changes, but some of the regulations that are slimmed down a little bit. So I'll send this out to you. Last thing is just, it's hard to believe, summer has flown by, but Wednesday we welcome back kindergarten through 5th grade students, 6th and 9th grade students for a half a day. We're excited for that. It gives the younger students and the first timers in their building an opportunity to have the building to themselves and figure things out a little bit, so that's exciting. And then on Thursday, we officially get the plane off the ground and the passengers are loaded. We set forth on the journey and we're excited to get it going. So welcome to 26-27 school year. And that's all I have.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions for Jason? All right, notification of next meeting. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education will be September 14th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Administration Building. The Committee of the Whole meeting will be August 24th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. in the Administration Building. An agenda for the meeting, which shall be kept continually current, is readily available for public inspection at the Superintendent's office during normal business hours. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that the Board of Education of District 15 adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Take your votes, please. We are adjourned. Thank you.